I have with me now Mr. Joe DeFerrari, a very quiet volunteer, not looking for praise or recognition, and I even had to coerce him to come here today. But I know that I can get him to speak about the work that he does that has helped the library so much and does so much for businessmen as well as the library. When I spoke with your wife, Joe, we discussed her contributions to the town of Secaucus. But you have also served your community well. Would you please give us some insight into your activity with the town?
Uh, sure, Kathy. As you know, I was born and raised in Secaucus also. Actually, I was born right here in Secaucus on First Street.
You were born right on First Street, huh?
I was born in Secaucus, right? I
That's-
never made Margaret Haig.
So you really are from
So
Secaucus.
I'm a long-time Secaucus resident. And attended Clarendon School and Lincoln Junior High School. And also, as you know, Secaucus did not have a high school at that time. And so I attended Union Hill High School, graduated from Union Hill High School. I guess I have been volunteering a lot in Secaucus. I was on the original recreation committee when Paul Amico became mayor. Angela Mara and I started the JC chapter, which is also known as the Junior Chamber of Commerce. And I was the first president of that organization. I was very active in this town. In fact, the JCs were the first organization to decorate the Plaza Island, as we called it at that time, with Christmas decorations. And we did that all volunteer, fundraising, no money from the town. We were the first, and I have a picture of that if anyone's interested, of Mike Mara and myself. That was quite a project, having that Plaza Island decorated for the first time.
That certainly was. It's such a tradition.
And I belonged to the Kiwanis Club. I was secretary-treasurer of the Secaucus Bay Booth, which was organized by the PAL. I was very involved with the PAL with Chief Artie Temple and Brett Hassan. And I guess one of the big, not a volunteer, but one of my contributions, we, Bill Monadori and myself, started the National Bank of Secaucus. It was the first bank, new bank in Hudson County in over 100 years. And that bank was organized in a little storefront, which is now Joseph's Flowers.
Well, that's interesting. That's a little tidbit about you I'd forgotten.
And then we built, right next to the library, the National Bank of Secaucus, future home of the National Bank of Secaucus.
Right.
The old library, which is now the PNC Bank. That was originally the National Bank of Secaucus.
Oh, okay. Right. I remember that.
And being active banker in the town of Secaucus, and being active with the JCs, and being active in the PAL and the Recreation Department, et cetera, I guess I was somewhat of a resource for the town of Secaucus. And lo and behold, I was appointed to the Board of Education by Paul Amico
That's
in
right.
the 1960s. That's when we had an appointed Board of Education. I served on the board for 5 years, and then I decided to run. While I was on the board, maybe because of me, the people decided to have an elected Board of Education.
Oh.
So I served 5 years as an appointed member, and then I ran, and I was elected. And I served 3 years. So I had 8 years on the Secaucus Board of Education.
And now was Clarendon School built during
I was
that
president
time?
of the Secaucus Board of Education when Clarendon School opened. And I hope I'll be here when they take the cornerstone out. I would love to go through what we have in that cornerstone. It was very controversial to put in Clarendon School because it was 5 buildings.
Yes.
Took away from the farm.
The
During
satellite.
during the building of it was a lot of, rainstorms and flooding. And
Right.
I can remember Gus Hubert, Councilman Gus Hubert, and he was very involved because people were complaining. I lived around there, That's where the first Little League field was where the Clarendon School is today. and it was very controversial. But one of the reasons that the appointed board became an elected board. And actually, when we dedicated that building, each one of those buildings was named after a prominent Secaucus educator. For example, one of those buildings is named after Miss Kohler, who was the original principal of Clarendon School. This is all gone now, pretty much. Until we open that Cornerstone, I would love this. Of course, it's probably in the newspapers. Anyway, we don't want to dwell on all that. I have been very active in town of Secaucus.
We're very fortunate that you were.
And then David Malka, who was a Secaucus resident at the time, and 12 years ago recruited me for the SCORE organization. I was I retired early, and I wasn't interested in doing it. I paid my dues for the town of Secaucus. Anyway, David Malka recruited me for SCORE. SCORE is a national organization. It's sponsored by the United States Small Business Administration. And actually SCORE stands for Senior Counselors of Retired Executives. And what SCORE does is provides free, which is very key, free business counseling for people who are interested in going into business, or people who are already in business. They may need a marketing plan, they may need a business plan, they may need a small business loan. We don't do any work, we don't have any money, we don't make any loans, we don't have any grants, but it's a free service that you can come to the library and spend an hour with a counselor and get some good resource material and some good advice. And actually, what happened, as you know, Kathy, when David Malka and I approached you, we thought that the library would be a good place for Secaucus to offer this service, or for SCORE. And of course, which is always cooperative from the Secaucus Library, absolutely, we'll work it out somehow. And we started this service in the old library. And now we run it out here for the Hudson County, and we provide counseling service in Spanish and English. And we have 6 counselors, and we do counseling at the Jersey City Library, Kearney, North Bergen, Union City, and Hoboken. So it's a good service.
How many volunteers about do you have
well,
in your organization?
We have 6 here in Hudson County, but nationwide it's over 10,000.
Isn't that?
It's a big organization.
It certainly is.
And we report to the SCORE organization in Newark. And in Newark they have seminars and workshops almost on a monthly basis. And there's and we've had workshops here and we've had seminars here at the Secaucus Library.
Right.
But after doing it for 12 years, I'm now trying to recruit some more volunteers and some other people too. Because like any organization, as time goes on, you need some new blood.
What are the requirements for someone to be a volunteer in your organization?
Somebody can make a commitment, number one, for at least 2 or 3 hours a week, a commitment, and to have some business background. You don't have to actually be someone that started a business, but someone with a business background. But the commitment is more important, because if you're retired, pretty much you've paid your dues somewhere along the line, and you can certainly sit down with a young person and give them some good advice. So we have training when you become a member of SCORE, and we do training as to how to counsel. And it's all volunteer, we're not paid, and we're always looking for people. So
You tell me that you're the lifelong
resident
of this town. So can you tell me a little bit about your memories of the libraries through the years?
I certainly
This is the
remember-
third one.
Yeah, I remember the library, certainly the original one, and Mrs. Dudley, and climbing up those steps to get to the top of the town hall, as we called it. Now they call it the Municipal Government Center. It was always the town hall. And Mrs. Dudley was, what I remember of her was she was just a nice lady, and she had a lot of patience. And when I was 10, 12 years old, I guess at the time, running up there, what did I know? We know about the decimal system, et cetera, But she always had the time and the patience to help you out. I wasn't really a big library user, but I do certainly remember Mrs. Ludwig. She was just a nice lady and very helpful. It was a good place.
Yes. Well, it started you out and you became a good man, so
Right.
it must have done its job. When you
I
took,
don't remember the building of the next library that much.
oh, you downtown? That would have been during your teenage years then.
Yeah, right. So when I graduated from college, happened to go to the same college that Artie Couch went to, which is Uppsala College. Which is
Now, for those who don't know,
out of existence.
tell us who Arthur Couch was.
Arthur Couch, of course, is the Arthur Couch Performing Arts Center, named after Arthur Couch, who was the superintendent of schools.
Yes.
So I grew up with Arthur Couch. Actually, he was 5 or 10 years older than me, but I spent a lot of time with Arthur Couch when I was on the Board of Education. He was also a recreation buff. He was the coach of the Secaucus Rams football team. He was coach of St. Joseph's High School. He was very active in the town of Secaucus. So he and I happened to go to the same college.
He was a great man as well. I wish he was
Right.
here to
Right.
interview him, but I'm really happy that you went to school with him, so he got
Right.
mentioned in this history
Yeah.
because he was also a vital part of the community.
Absolutely.
When I became director, he said to me, "He is the young lady that's going to make us think differently about our library." I think he was right. I think I lived up to that one. But you said, all right, so when you came to the second library, Plaza Center Library, with your score information and you said that we were happy, you don't know how happy we were because we were starting then to think of a new library. And one of the needs of the community was certainly to address the businesses that were coming into the community or people who wanted to start businesses in the Meadowlands.
Right.
So you became a vital part of the library, and now you're just a branch here
Yeah.
because it's very, very popular.
Yeah, pretty much. We do about 2 to 3 counselings a week here at the Secaucus Library, which is about 10 a month. And then, as I say, we run around to the other libraries and we keep it going. And we're very fortunate to have the library here. And Kathy, you were just great getting this off the ground. And I know you wanted to know a little bit about this library, and I can tell you most of the people that come here that we counsel are not from Secaucus, and they just can't believe this library when they come here. Number one, because I always say, when I phone, when I make an appointment, the parking is good.
Yes, most times.
Because no
the
matter where
parking
you
is
go
good.
now, yeah, most times. I know it's getting a little bit anyway. Parking is good, and the library is just, to me, it's so functionally efficient. I think whoever designed it did a great job. And I'm sure you had a lot to do with
I know,
that, but it really is efficiently designed, in my opinion.
Well, that's good. I mean, there were certain things that we wished were different, but can be changed in the future, hopefully, to make more space because there's already wishful thinking for things we would like to have here. I just want to say one thing. Now, you see our library, you've seen 3, you've had a vision of 3 Secaucus Public Libraries. What do you think the Secaucus Public Library will be like 20 or 30 years from now? Do you think there'll be a library? Do you think...
I think there'll be a library. I think the libraries are trying to keep up with this new technology in a new age. I know now you can, I don't want to say rent, what's the word you use when you take a book out? You can get a Kindle now.
Yes, you can. Well, Fred is not in favor of Kindles. Fred is our photographer here. But I must say, as a former director, I own a Kindle as well. There's a time and a place.
When you get to be our age and you start talking to the 20-year-olds, we have to go with the youth. And we have to go with the technology. And the library keeps up with that technology. I mean, now we have an employee here who's Lisa, who's the technology librarian.
Right.
And she's very popular. I just saw something recently. It said only 2 appointments a month. I can see because I can imagine how demanding that could be. Somebody says, I'll be glad to give you some free computer education 1 hour a week. I said, before you know it, your calendar is going to fill up.
Her calendar is full, and then she also runs classes here.
Right.
So,
Right. So anyway, the future is technology, and if the libraries keep up with that, I don't see any reason why the library will not be here 20, 30, 40 years from now.
We're very fortunate in this town that
Yeah.
the town government, from the time your wife was on and prior, and to this day, that they support the library as well as they do.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're very thankful. I wished we could have done more, but I'm very proud that on the sign outside that people look at to see what activities we're running, it says the home of SCORE.
Correct.
That was a nice donation that SCORE made for the library, but we were very proud that that's featured outside. Joe, we're at a part here now where it's your thoughts. What would you like to leave us with? It could be anything. Anything you're thinking about the library, anything about the town, anything you would like to say to close out your segment today.
Keep the parking good.
Oh. The parking has come under discussion a few times because
Yeah, well, I don't see caucuses, was 5,000 to 6,000 people when I was growing up. Now it's 20,000 people. We were all pig farmers, The JCs were also the last one to give out. When I was growing up, if we had a dignitary come to the town of Secaucus, what that dignitary, instead of the key to the city, like they used to give a baby pig,
oh, for goodness sakes, really?
right? Instead of the key to the city, you used to get a baby pig.
What a
May have-
rich history that we're learning along the way, not just about the library, but the town.
So, I've seen Secaucus just explode, and maybe if we could slow down a little bit with some of the development, but I don't know. We don't want to get into.
No, we won't go into
I
politics,
don't know
but
what, born and raised here, it's my town, and it's,
you helped make it your town.
Wonderful memories.
Thank you so much for sharing this little piece of history with us, and I wish SCORE all the success possible.
And thank you.